This pretty good coverage is brought to you by Power Grip, the official retail partner of the European Pro Tour.
Hello and welcome back to coverage of the 2023 Belgian Open. This is Round 2 Front 9 FPO coverage brought to you by MDG Media. The winds have picked up a little bit here on day 2, and as the scores are closing in, the field battles it out to be your next EPT champion. I'm Connor Wood, and with me today, Andrew Gum.
Pleasure to be here. Such a wonderful event here. Second stop on the European Pro Tour. Here we have Anneli Tougjas-Männiste from Otepää, Estonia. 917 rated and coming off a big second place finish in Copenhagen and a win as well at some event in Estonia. I don't remember the name, but...
Joining her, we have Heidi Laine. Very good command of both the backhand and the forehand, repping her new Clash-sponsored discs. Excited to see her join us today.
Yes, and we have Austrian national champion Laura Posch. He's 907 rated. And really great, consistent player. This course suits her game quite well.
And to round out our lead card here, we have Kaire Tekku, 892 rated, hitting the fairway 50% of the time, but doing a good job on the C1 putts. She is sponsored by Latitude 64.
Yeah, another talented Estonian player.
Taking a look at the standings here.
10, yeah.
Anneli leading the field by 3 strokes. Really impressive stuff. Has put herself ahead going into day 2 here. We'll see if she can maintain that sort of momentum and try to separate from the field.
Yeah, that was a great first round for her. Highest rated round of her career thus far.
And coming off a win last weekend, as you mentioned. So she'll get started here, as will the rest of the card, on hole 1. Par 3, 74 meters. This island is slightly larger than circle 1. On the front end, on the back slightly shorter. You want to hit it and try to make your circle 1 putt. Really test the nerves and where your headspace is at the beginning of this tournament.
Yeah, wonderful starting hole. Got the tournament center right there behind you, and nice little downhill. Speed control. Touchy one.
She finds herself safe on the island. The overstable backhand hyzer playing very nicely.
From Finland, representing Clash.
Yeah, Heidi Laine, the reigning European Pro Tour points champion. Represented by Clash discs. But she's throwing open, somewhat open bag. She's using a bird there. Takes it real close.
Great disc to throw on this hole.
Yeah, perfect. Just drops right out of the sky there into the circle. Nice little hyzer touch shot here from Laura, and it checks up perfectly.
As we see now, Kaire on the tee. Really fun hole to get a sense of how your round's going to go. She flips this one up just a little bit. The height and width look great, but unfortunately she fires long, getting a touch too much glide. She'll be putting from the drop zone to try and save par.
Yeah, it's about a 15-meter putt there from the drop zone. Great starting hole, usually a birdie or a bogey. Average 2.77 today. 62% of the field getting the birdie.
She gives it a bid. This is about a 15-meter putt with OB 5 meters behind the basket going downhill. Really tricky one to give a solid run on.
Can be scary. Yeah, I've seen people skip off the top and have to take the 5.
But Laura finds the early birdie here.
Yeah, off the nubs and up and in. Not the most confident putt, but it's great to get that round started with a birdie.
The chains have been hit already. The feeling's in the air for Heidi here. Very nice.
Yep. Perfect putt. Trying to track down her first win of the season.
Anneli, your leader, showing no doubt on that putt.
Yeah, she's been playing so solid all year. On a potential. Her rating's gonna shoot up.
And the 4 there, as you mentioned, very infrequently do players find the 3 here. You want to stick the island, not every time do you make it. But you can move on to hole 2, a 131 meter par 3 that is slightly uphill. You want to throw over this initial valley into this wide open field. You have OB on the right trees here, as well as to the path and left and beyond the green if you manage to get that far. Because of the right to left sloping fairway, you need to control your turn angle as precisely as possible and get a big drive right down the middle.
Yeah, pretty long, tough, straight shot with a little low ceiling there off the tee. Averaging as the 6th most difficult for the FPO field at 3.54 average.
See Anneli shaping a nice flex here. Starting out left of the basket, she drifts it right and fades back towards it. Really nice straight line.
Yeah, clean all the way. Nothing can go wrong with that. Heidi smashing on this salt. Eyes are not early. Picks up safe though.
About 1 meter in. That really is, because of the slope, the most frequent way to find OB, especially wanting to throw an overstable disc on an anhyzer release. The hyzer turnover you can do, but with a lot of OB and some more wins here on day 2, it was the more risky play compared to the flex with a slightly overstable disc. Laura goes straight down the middle, grounds it a bit early, but she's in a totally fine spot to try and save par, which is not a bad score here. Very tough birdie to get.
Pretty far right there from Kaire. I think it's safe, but not exactly prime position. Short and right here, she has to get this forehand worked up to the green.
Still about 50 meters to the pin. She leaves that one high, and she is fading towards OB if the rough does not slow her down. No OB graphic there. Likely safe, but going to be heavily obstructed.
Yeah, that left to right crosswind really grabbed her flight plate and sailed it to the right there, but luckily it hit some trees and stayed safe anyway. Laura's really good with these straight forehand approaches.
Yeah, her upshot game is very clean. We saw that in the round 1 coverage. She really does not make mistakes at that distance. As Heidi also slides up into the bullseye, very safe.
Yeah, and from that view you can really tell the wind has picked up, whirling a bit. Not quite like what we saw in Copenhagen, but breezier than the first day.
Significantly windier than day 1. Maybe just enough to warrant a disc up instability on a couple holes, especially into the ones with headwind or understability in the tailwind. So testing the versatility of these players. We'll see Anneli here. A safe par. Well done to her.
Got such a solid all-around game. Really good putting, and we saw her throw those nice long straight drives.
Laura as well, just outside bullseye, short 6 meter putt into the basket.
Low but in from Heidi.
As we see,
Kaire's gonna take the bogey, yeah.
yeah, she Must have found OB on the drive. An unfortunate result, but shows just how quickly it comes into play here. Another one where you must avoid OB. Hole 3, par 3, 106 meters. You have a shot through this initial gap in the trees into this very tight fairway. As it begins to narrow and turn in this S-shaped bend, you have OB to the right and left, delineated by the white stakes. If you can make it all the way to this green, you have an elevated basket to contend with, as well as rough right behind. You want to put it as close as possible. Try to scramble a 2. Very commonly, players will crash into these right side trees, as it's the safest play once you get up there. The OB ends at the fairway rather than the green.
Yeah, one of the most beautiful holes you'll see, in my opinion. Really frames up nicely over the creek, and then the OB tapers towards the basket, and the green is just really lovely. One's overturned, but you got the basket perched up nicely on an old stump, and it's really a nice backdrop of green vegetation behind it. Very pretty.
And just really symbolizes what this course is about, this hole. Heidi fires almost long. She will find that right side rough we mentioned earlier, but she is totally safe there. She'll have an obstructed putt from about edge of circle. We did see Anneli fire OB right, meaning that the door is open to try and get some strokes on the leader for all of these ladies.
Yeah, Heidi's actually just outside the bullseye with a pretty clean look in this case.
Oh, much closer than
really
it looked.
lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, she punched through and got really lucky. You can see her disc right there, the white one is just outside the bullseye. Early release there from Kaire, and it's quite low as well, but it'll stay safe.
As we see a little bit of a slow start from her. Hopefully she can keep her head up high and keep trucking. The front nine is the harder of the two nines. So getting out of here with a positive attitude moving into the back nine always helps. Good.
Yeah, this one averaging 3.23, 13th most difficult.
Super clean. Soft forehand flex there from Anneli. Catches some ground play, but no problem at all. This is Laura now. She's gotten close enough to have a straddle putt from outside the trees. We'll see if she can find the chains. Unfortunately, a little bit low, and I think on this day had a significant tailwind coming from the back of the tee. Most likely dropping that putter a little bit more than expected.
Hey, it was actually a little bit more obstructed than I remember. Unable to get it up and in.
And a par there for Kaire. Anneli, very quick to her lie there, looking to secure a stress-free bogey. She must have... She went OB off the tee, right?
I'm not sure.
She went right side fairway.
Her upshot a little bit short. She kind of like sawed off the upshot a little bit.
She did go OB off the tee on the right side. 3 shots, but 4 strokes for our leader. The other 3 taking par do find a stroke and get slightly closer. Here you see hole 4, par 3, 97 meters. You have this initial gap to try and hit as you want to get over this hedge on a soft turnover backhand or a forehand flip up, slightly uphill. You need to get enough height to turn through this gap. As you break out into this open green, you have a very elevated basket to contend with, and given that it's the windiest day so far here, you want to put it as close as possible.
Yeah, it's a little bit more uphill than it looks on camera. There is some pretty tough spots on here if you don't keep it straight. Like that bush on the left there is really thick, so you want to hit the line for sure. Heidi does so nicely.
She shaped that really nicely through the gap. Quite an overstable finish to that disc. She'll be just within the circle. That was very close to OB as well. It doesn't look that close to the basket, but it can come into play quick if you throw it too high. And that's the most common mistake for the backhands here. Laura will be in that left side bush you mentioned.
Yeah, that can be a tough place to scramble from. Hopefully she got lucky and she'll have an out, but look at the move on this one. Perfect full flight coming back into the bullseye.
Wow.
Beautiful drive from Kaire Tekku there.
If you drew an S line directly down the middle of the fairway from above, she just hit that line.
Yeah, she carved that up. This is great as well from Anneli. Coming up just short and left. 5 meters left for her birdie.
Some great drives here on hole 4. Not a particularly easy hole, but definitely one you can attack. Another really nicely framed basket off the tee. Just a beautiful touch to this course design. All the love and care that you could ask for as a player.
Yeah, such a lovely setting for disc golf there in the Bourdon Parc there. Braine-l'Alleud, just south of Brussels. Quite the epicenter for disc golf in Western Europe, I believe.
Oh, Laura hits some chains, but a little bit too high on the weak side. She will find herself with a tap-in 3. Heidi now to try her luck at this tough-to-get birdie.
Bit off on that attempt. See if Anneli can be the first one today to birdie it for the FPO field. Yes, she is.
She has a very confident putting stroke this season. She's looked good on the green since the start at Copenhagen. She's looking good on the green here. Heidi with a solid
Heidi
comeback.
makes good on the comeback.
Yeah, not a super easy putt. A little bit further than is comfortable for par, but it's what happens when you give it a run on the first putt.
Elevated basket and wind can be a pretty scary combo. If Laura can get it in. Yes.
And a testament to just how close Kaire is finally now walking up to her tee shot.
Yeah, what a great drive. That's a Parc job for sure. And just the second birdie of the day on this one. Averaged right at par with 2 birdies and 2 bogeys. That was a havoc that she threw off the tee, I remember. If anyone was curious.
Hole 5, par 4, 172 meters. You have to hit an initial left to right shot around this corner. A little bit too straight and you will find OB, as you want to position yourself to try and enter this upcoming tunnel on the second shot. Anywhere in a straight look to the basket is great. You then have about 60 to 100 meters, depending how far you get around the corner, up into this very tight green. You need a super straight shot that tries to slide up without going long or kicking off a tree.
Yeah, another beautiful hole. Kaire is going to go backhand. for that long panning anhyzer shot.
That's a really nice shape. She made that look easy, but very tough to get that late turning flight. Anything that turns too early will find that corner very quickly. Anything that turns too slow will find OB long. We'll see Anneli now with the line, likely a little bit of a wind read. Fortunate cut roll to bring her back into the fairway.
Yeah. Have a longer second shot, but still a chance.
Heidi
puts a good move on this one.
Playing it super tight the whole way, but yeah, really clean. And to be in that prime spot, you really do have to push that tree line with the backhand. Forehand, you can hang out a little bit wider, but requires about 90 to 100 meters of power on hyzer. We see our...
And a lot of stability.
Yeah. This was headwind on this day, I believe, all day.
What was your approach on this one? Or like tee shot, did I say?
I tried to play the big forehand hyzer with the high-speed overstable driver and then get a putter right down the middle. I found the backhand to be particularly touchy, especially in the wind. Some people played a roller, which was great to see. If they have that sort of shape, that pushing turnover to the right, ending backhand roller, it was actually shaping really nicely.
Look at this. Wow. What a move.
And she hits it.
All the way to the pole.
There you go. She shows a smile. That is perfection right there. What an upshot.
Yeah. Yeah, that was world-class touch. Testing the ceiling and really knowing her disc, getting it to come back right at the end there. Kissing off the koozie. Can't see much better than that. Heidi landing short and sliding it up. Just there on the bullseye's edge. Right up.
Kaire looking to shape a forehand through the tunnel. She contends with the left side, but fighting through a lot of it. There is an OB line on the left of the tunnel. Normally it only comes into play if you kick a tree. She looks to have been safe, but may have been flying over or near that line.
Yeah, over there by 11's basket, there is a separating line.
Circle 2,
She didn't find it. Here she is, safe, yeah. Gets it close.
Anneli giving that one a long bid. And it's really nice to play in that windy fairway and then come into the green, and it is just still beautiful, quiet. The tree line really doing wonders to create a beautiful atmosphere.
Right on a nice sheltered green. There's Heidi with the only birdie of the day. One averaging 4.38. And the most difficult.
Yeah, this one feels like a great 3 to get. The money maker is really the second shot. You just need to position yourself on the first.
Yeah, it's all placement off the tee.
Yeah. We then move on to hole 6. Only 165 meters for par 4, but it is a pure tunnel shot the entire way. You want to throw right down the middle, hitting all of these gaps, and hopefully your first shot can get to this dividing horizontal path. Anything landing here or over it is a great spot to be, where you then have another straight tunnel shot with a soft hyzer finish for the backhand right-hand throw. You want to have a straight to left fading shot that tries to fight all the way to this uphill green without skipping, rolling on any of these obstacles here. A really, really tough 3. A 4 feels great. This is a hole that you just want to survive.
Yeah, long, straight, tight tunnel. Creates a bit of an optical illusion off the tee because it's so long and straight. It looks a lot further than it really is. This is amazing, right down through the gap. Fading a little bit left, but right down the middle.
Definitely happy with that shot. Anything that doesn't hit the trees in the first tunnel is a fantastic result. About 2.5 to 3 meters wide the whole way. I think it's about 75 or 80 meters to clear all of them. As Kaire also shapes a really nice stand-up shot, and she hits that tree at the start of the second gap. Another fantastic drive.
Couple pipe jobs so far. Really nice looking drives.
Do you think that puts pressure on Laura now coming to the tee in third?
Wants to try to follow those lines and able to do it well. Gets all the way out of the gap on the left side there. Halfway to the basket with a great open look. Another one of those and she'll be there. 3 for 3 with the gap hit. You don't see that too often. See if Anneli can follow suit. Ooh.
Oh, and the first tree is hit in the initial gap. But that is a totally fine spot to be. From here, you can even lay up about 30 to 40 meters to just try and jump putt your way to par. She's made it far enough. We'll see how aggressive she chooses to get.
He's getting real aggressive. That worked out pretty well. She's circle two's edge or
really nice shape. Getting that tight anhyzer around the corner. Really not a super simple shot, but well executed. Laura here going for that pushing hyzer. She will also find herself right about circle two's edge.
Heidi's a little bit pinched off here, but if she can put a really nice touch hyzer on this, could fight her way up towards the green. Does. Wow. Nice one.
And Kaire, this is actually backdoor to the green, left of the traditional fairway. There is a very obstructed tunnel that hugs tight to OB. She chooses to play that, gets caught up on the way. Anneli getting out of the rough with the forehand. Do you think she ran that?
Kind of looked like it.
Came in at the height.
Yep. Got a little bit of a skip off that sewage draining manhole thing there.
Yeah, that thing.
But she's still pretty close. Yeah.
You would get huge skips and flares and rolls off those if you were to connect with them on your upshot or off the putt. They could add an extra 3 to 5 meters on your lie with the second putt if you find them.
Yep.
Kaire. Oh, confident spin putt, a little bit nose up, putting uphill. She goes just over the top and she goes into the rough behind the basket. This is another tricky putt. As we mentioned, a 4 feels good here, and Anneli finds that par nicely. And unfortunately,
major struggles on the green here.
Yeah, it can be frustrating with some really good throws on this hole to fight through the tunnel, to find the troubles then once you get there. Can be frustrating as you've done the hard part, you just need to clean it up.
That's right, because she was initially putting for birdie.
Mm-hmm. And a par for those two players right there.
Yeah, third most difficult on the day at 4.92 average, so it can beat you up for sure.
Hole 7, par 3, 84 meters. This is one that's considered by many to be one of the signature holes here of this stunning course. You want to hit your shot up the tunnel and try to pierce through this guardian tree line. If you manage to hit one of these gaps, you have a tiered green to contend with. An ideal shot gets up to the right or either on the hill or even on the top tier if you can settle that, but incredibly difficult. A lot of players will skip or bounce or slide around the bottom step where you have a very steep uphill putt. And that's fairly common from Heidi. She had a great looking shot that's flipping up into the gap. Really small windows between those trees. This hole sometimes feels like you're just chucking hard at those and hoping you hit one of them. The gaps, that is, not the trees. Wouldn't recommend it.
Sure. Yeah, there's sort of more room on the left side for a flex forehand, and then I think the right gap is the biggest, but none of them are particularly wide, that's for sure. It makes it quite a tricky hole, particularly to park with that really beautifully built up terrace green. Jean-Louis Tange, a carpenter by trade, has put in a lot of hard work and really fine detail, quality craftsmanship that really makes this course special.
And everything you see wooden in this park is Jean-Louis' work. It's really incredible. The long, wide tee-pads, perfectly straight and balanced. The island on hole 1, for example, this tiered green, some really big structures, goes to show the love and care that man has to his course building and course design. We'll see Heidi here. This is an upshot that almost everyone tries to run given that backstop.
That's one of the really cool things about this hole. I think it kind of begs you for highlight throw-ins, and yeah, you rarely see it parked, but you can definitely give it a go because of the backstop.
Oh, and you mentioned highlight.
That was a thirsty bid right there.
Sounded like just a touch of the chains. Lara with a good bid from way at the bottom. It's about 4 to 5 meters vertical from the bottom step. Good save there. It really pinches the gap between the band and the basket when you're putting that uphill. The gap that you can actually see the chains in really narrows.
Yeah, and it takes a lot more power than you can really think, you know, or than you might think.
Yeah, this is a great angle that shows just how uphill it is. You can be inside the circle here and putt like a 15-meter feeling putt.
Yeah, definitely. Beautiful looking green though, with the graffiti and kind of train line behind there and all the nice trees.
One of the more attackable par 3s here on this course. Hole 8 is only 80 meters. With a soft downhill fairway, you have a tunnel shot where you want to throw your straightest putter with a soft fade. Hopefully, as you fight your way down, you see a pretty fast green here. Given the downhill and just the light grass, most discs that hit will slide up an extra 10 or so meters. You want to land, slide up, make your circle 1 putt.
Yeah, second easiest hole on the course today at 2.92. One you really want to get, but it's kind of touchy being a little downhill. Definitely a pretty friendly sized gap though, compared to what we have seen.
Heidi with a height who gives a really nice hyzer bid. Almost rings that one up. Just a few meters further.
Kind of a nice soft ace run.
Yeah, right?
A little heavy on the hyzer there for Laura. In the middle of the fairway though.
And the left side rough definitely playing far friendlier than the right side rough. Anything that overturns or you maybe hang on to a little bit long will prevent any sort of easy upshot. On the left though, it's a little bit sparser, and things that hyzer out a bit early normally end up having a putt anyway.
Ooh,
yeah, these ladies are firing at this basket.
I like it. That one hit the stump and stayed right there. You'll have a birdie look.
Oh, and this is the right side. Hopefully she can find the fade. There it is. That brings her back in, but she could have been in big trouble as she'll have about 30 meters left to the bin. And she hits one of those guardians. Yeah, she'll still have a circle one, but longer circle one putt.
More than you want for par, especially on this hole. Anneli blew past just a little bit. Okay, I thought she hit that stump, but great effort from a knee. Catches the nubs. Just about dropped it in there.
Heidi with a confident putt. She's putting together a fantastic front nine, 3 down with no bogeys.
Yeah, trying to close that gap. 3 strokes behind coming in, and it's already tied up, actually. She's done it.
Laura with a great par save there. We'll see Kaire now also with a similar distance. And low from the hand, unfortunately could not fight up. She was putting downhill. May get into your head a little bit in terms of where you aim. And perhaps...
Unfortunate bogey there.
Yeah, contributing to some nose angle changes. But you can move on here to hole 9. A par 4, 183 meters. A really, really tough hole to birdie. You want to hit all of these initial gaps with a backhand turnover or a forehand hyzer, as the best shots will land right about here, when you then have to manufacture a long fighting hyzer first up this fairway and then down this sloped green. As you try to break through this last tunnel, you have a gravel and dirt path that you can slide your way up to this very fast green and try to settle nice and soft within the circle. Extremely difficult birdie. 4 feels great. Some even consider this playing like a par 5.
Yeah, well, it's averaging 5.85 for our FPO field, so that kind of tells you where it stands relative to par. By far the most difficult on the course. And yeah, as you said, it's a very difficult hole to birdie, but also a very difficult hole to par for the FPO field. We've seen only one in the whole event so far, and it was from Tougjas-Männiste on day 1.
Heidi, a little bit too
We'll see if some of
high.
these,
She finds
yeah, if
Hobie.
these ladies from the lead card could join that exclusive par club on this hole today. Not an easy one, huh?
No, really not. You want to hug the inside corner as tight as possible, just like Laura did there. That's a really good spot to be, and you'll see even from that lie, which is pretty much a perfect shot, the second shot and shape is still incredibly demanding. Anneli going to try and put a bit more turn on this if she can flex it out. She gets caught up on the right side. Does not quite get the full flight. Still a salvageable par though from there.
Kicks right as well. Scramble begin.
Anneli going with that tough straddle forehand stance. You can't put your lower body into it. Really tricky to get enough anhyzer. She now goes to the patent pending turnover, pitches right up to have a look down the tunnel to the green. An unlikely par. Kaire throwing the forehand right up to that similar landing zone as Anneli's disc. So this was an almost perfect tee shot. She now has some very tight gaps and an awkward height to contend with, the floor rising and the ceiling lowering.
Heidi was OB off her drive, I think.
She's done well to give herself a look there, also down the tunnel. So the central gap right in front of her disc is the one she wants to hit. That's a little bit left. She connects with something and kicks back to the fairway. Still about 50 meters from the pin, but a little bit downhill with the fast green. If you can jump putt it, it's a really friendly way to try and approach this one.
Yeah, this hole's been modified from last year's layout. It was the old basket of 10, very short downhill par3. They've made the adjustment, and it was already a hard par 4 last year, but now it's even more difficult.
There was quite a gallery of locals watching this hole being played out by the MPO and FPO fields, interested to see how the pros will contend with a hole that they think of as incredibly difficult. They were super pumped to see any birdies coming in the tournament.
Nice to see the local players looking for inspiration. Laura's upshot somewhere near the circle's edge, I think. There's that jump putt approach you were talking about from Anneli. Backs up real nice.
Exactly what you want, but I think Anneli will be finding a 6 there. But as you mentioned with the average scoring, that's going to be just about the average score for the FPO field. Laura with a C2 putt. Just a little bit low. If you fade past that basket high or on the side, you will go way downhill. As we see Heidi now coming back from that downhill slope. Also a touch slow.
And the roll.
That was a bit mean, but she is putting laterally now. A bit more of a flat putt rather than a super uphill one.
Going to be a 7 for Heidi, unfortunately, after some really good scramble work to get up to the green. Tee shot was OB, and then she threw 2 great shots, but kind of gave quite a few strokes away here on the green.
Kaire taking a 5. It is a bogey, but taking a stroke on the majority of the field here, as well as the players on this card. Laura with the 6, Anneli as well. And as you mentioned, Heidi taking a 7. Her first bogey on this second round. We'll see if she can fight through it and come out strong on the other end. As we take a look at the overall standings, Anneli, Tougjas-Männiste, still your leader. She is sitting at 2 over par, just 1 stroke behind her. Heidi Laine, Laura in 3rd position. Players tied for 4th. An exciting front 9.
Yeah, we got those top 2 right there, distancing themselves a little bit, but also a really tight battle there for the 3rd place at the moment. So come on back for the back 9. See you there.
Adios.